Welcome, everyone, to Revival Waves of Glory Ministries. My name is Bill Vincent, and today we're doing a deep dive into my book, The Garden Adventure. We're going to explore the incredible story of Adam and Eve as it's laid out in the book. You know, from that perfect, beautiful beginning in the Garden of Eden, all the way to the enduring promise that follows their pivotal choice. It's such a foundational story, and my hope is that this book gives it a fresh lens for you to see it through. So let's get started.
So the book kicks things off by painting this incredible picture of a world that was completely untouched, a paradise called the Garden of Eden. This quote really sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? It invites us to just imagine a world of pure, unmatched beauty, exactly how God designed it to be. It kind of asks us to set aside everything we know about our modern world and just step into a reality that was defined by absolute perfection.
So, we're going to begin with the first part of our story, and it really focuses on the creation and the very nature of this perfect world. The book makes it clear right from the get-go that this was a place built on harmony, and that's a central theme we're going to see again and again. And we're not just talking about a lack of conflict. This was a proactive, vibrant state where everything, and I mean everything, worked together in perfect sync.
The book really tries to describe Eden with vivid detail to help us see what made it a true paradise. I mean, look at this. It was a place where lions stretched out lazily right next to lambs, where birds filled the air with song, and every single plant produced the most delicious fruit you could ever imagine. But, beyond all that physical beauty, the book emphasizes that this was a world of emotional and spiritual perfection. Think about it, a place completely free from sadness, from fear, or from pain. There was no anxiety, no death, and no decay, just perfect peace.
And right into this perfect setting, God introduces humanity. Adam is formed from the very earth he is meant to care for, which makes his purpose crystal clear right from the start. He is to be the steward, the keeper of this incredible garden, entrusted with all of its wonders. The book really highlights a beautiful symmetry here. He is literally made of the garden, and the garden is made for him. Now, this next section is fascinating because it explores a problem that came up even in a perfect world. We're going to look at Adam's role in the garden and God's loving, divine solution to the one thing that was missing, companionship. And it suggests that even in paradise, we as humans have this deep, innate need for connection with another person like us.
The book is very clear that Adam's responsibilities weren't a chore, not at all. As you can see here, his role was one of stewardship, understanding, and enjoyment. Naming the animals wasn't just about sticking labels on them, it was an act of connecting with each creature's unique nature, a whole process of discovery. It was an adventure, not labor. But here's the thing, even in a world without a single flaw, the book highlights this fundamental human need for companionship. Adam sees the lions with the lionesses and the birds flying in pairs, and he feels this quiet loneliness. He has all the animals, but he has no one like him to share in the wonder of it all, to communicate and connect with on that same level. And this quote shows God's immediate and incredibly compassionate response. He sees Adam's solitude and speaks this promise directly into the situation. The book frames this moment not as some afterthought or a correction of a mistake, but as the next beautiful step in God's perfect plan, revealing just how important human relationships are to him. The solution the book describes is just profound. While Adam is in a deep, peaceful sleep, God forms Eve from his own side. And when Adam awakens, he immediately recognizes her as his perfect partner. His loneliness is just gone, and it's replaced by a companionship that completes the harmony of Eden, not just among nature, but now between humanity itself. Okay, now we arrive at a really pivotal part of the narrative, the one command given in the garden. And this wasn't some arbitrary rule. The book presents it as a profound test of trust and a reflection of their relationship with God. It was the single point where their freedom of choice could be used in a way that truly, truly mattered. To really understand the conflict that's about to happen, we have to understand this key element. This tree wasn't just about the fruit, it symbolized moral discernment, a responsibility the book suggests they were being lovingly shielded from. It was the one boundary in a world of otherwise complete and total freedom. And for more insights just like this, you can always find more from me, Bill Vincent, at revivalwavesofgloryministries.com. So here, we see the two paths that were available to them. The book frames obedience not as a restriction, but really as a form of protection that allowed for a full and abundant life. Trusting God meant living in perfect harmony. In contrast, disobedience, that would lead to spiritual death, a separation from God, and the heavy burden of knowledge that they were never, ever meant to carry. And here's the command itself, stated directly. It's so clear, so direct, and it leaves absolutely no room for misinterpretation. The consequence isn't a maybe, it's a certainty. This one boundary was the anchor of their trust-based relationship with God, a chance for them to freely choose love and trust over self-knowledge.
And now, we come to the turning point of the entire narrative. This section covers the deception that leads to a choice with consequences that just ripple through all of creation. It's the moment that trust is questioned and ultimately broken, changing the course of humanity forever.
So the book introduces an antagonist here, a cunning serpent, and its primary weapon isn't force, it's deception. By asking, did God really say? It twists God's words, causing Eve to focus on the one restriction instead of all of her abundant freedom, and it makes her question the goodness of God's motives. This pivotal, tragic moment unfolds in these 4 clear steps. The serpent's lie, that they would become like God, is the catalyst. Eve makes her choice, and then Adam makes his. And the immediate result isn't enlightenment, it's an emotion they had never known before: shame. Their innocence is just lost in an instant. And the change in their world was drastic and immediate. They went from effortless provision to hard toil, from perfect harmony to a struggle for survival, and most importantly, they went from walking with God in intimacy in the cool of the day to hiding from Him in fear. The contrast is absolute, and it touches every single aspect of their existence. But, and this is a huge but, the story does not end in despair. The book's final section pivots to a powerful message of hope, focusing on God's unwavering love even in the face of their choice and all its consequences. This is where the narrative turns from tragedy to the beginning of a rescue story. This moment right here shows that even in judgment, there is mercy. You see, they tried to cover their own shame with flimsy fig leaves, but God provides them with durable garments of skin. The book presents this as a profound act of care, a tangible reminder of His love even as they are sent out of the garden. This quote from the book's closing reflection really captures the ultimate takeaway. It balances the very real consequences of their choice with the even greater reality of God's enduring love and His plan for redemption. This reframes the entire story not just as a fall, but as the beginning of a much, much larger rescue mission. And this is why this ancient story still matters so much today. It isn't a closed chapter. According to the book, it's the opening act that sets the stage for the entire biblical narrative of God's plan to restore humanity to a relationship with Him, a plan that unfolds over thousands of years. And that leaves us with this final, reflective thought. This story is so much more than a historical account. It's a mirror. It asks us to consider our own choices, our own trust, and our own understanding of a love that persists even when we fail. To explore more from my ministry, please be sure to visit revivalwavesofgloryministries.com. Thank you for listening to the Deep Dive Podcast.